Welcome back to another episode of Britt and Nick Do the News. We took yet another break because that's what we do best, but back in the saddle. I know once summer is over, we'll definitely be regular with these podcasts.
That's right. That's right. We just had to enjoy ourselves. You know, we love summer, had to indulge.
Summer is the perfect time to go to the beach, and that's mainly where we've been. So today, we are behind the desk and bringing you what's hot for this week. To start it off, Biden officially drops out of this year's election. It was a long time coming, but I'm glad he made the call and, with enough time to try to get another candidate going so that they have somewhat of a momentum going to the polls.
I agree. Exactly. I mean, I feel like you're correct. Everyone saw this coming. I've heard some people say he's been a puppet for a while now, but either way, I think it was great that he dropped out because he's just a little too old and senile for this position.
Oh, definitely. And they say he may end his term even before, time is up. So we'll stay tuned for that. But he gives his full support to Kamala Harris. He endorses her. And it looks like, the Democratic Party, they're following slowly in his footsteps and giving their support as well.
That's true. The Obamas back her, as well as several other people, a large community of Democratic leaders and figureheads have given full support to her, which, it's coming at a crux. There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there was the attempted assassination on former President Trump, had some stuff stirring about. And recently we had some more shootings. The Sonya Massey killing in Illinois. That was quite sad to watch. I don't know if all of our viewers have seen the video, but it makes you think. And that could definitely be a issue that people will look toward to see how each candidate decides to proceed from that case.
Yes, police support from either party is definitely going to have voters sway, especially when it comes to stories like Sonya Massey. For those who haven't seen the footage that's been released, an officer responded to someone who was in distress, someone who was complaining about someone, vandalizing, or someone was outside her house. They show up and you could probably easily tell that she was confused with what she was saying. In the video, she's in the kitchen threatening to throw hot water on the policeman who is completely 25 feet away. Maybe not that far, but it looked that far. But no distance could water be thrown. And even so, his response, shooting her in the head. I don't know. When it comes to mental illness, people won't act right. And sometimes you do have to assess the situation and act appropriately. The officer, he was 14 months into the job. So my stance, it goes back to training. I don't think defunding the police is the measure. I think it's better training. And I haven't heard Trump or Harris's stance behind this, but it'll be interesting that it'll come to light because of what has happened.
No, I agree. Definitely defund the police is not the movement. That's never the movement. More training, more funding, more education, more awareness. That's the only thing that's going to solve police brutality and all that. And of course, bringing stuff like this to light, to letting the public know that these people need to be held accountable, whether it was improper training, whether they just really wanted to kill somebody, whether they just were misunderstood or misunderstood the individual that they were dealing with. Regardless, no excuse. We need more training, more support.
Agreed. Moving things along. Another hot topic that came up, Elon Musk, their former son, who is now a female, Vivian, I believe that's the name. What was the stir in the news about that?
Right. So Elon Musk, as we all know, has been publicly against hormone replacement therapy and hormone blockers, and essentially transitioning more for the younger generation, the children. And his own stance has also been because in his own family, someone was transitioning. That was his son, born son, now daughter, Vivian Jenna. And he claims that he was unaware of all the processes and everything that it would take, and that it was done against his will and all of this. Vivian says no. Vivian says that's incorrect. He knew exactly what he was signing up for, signing her over to do. And she said that he was pretty much an inactive parent. That really it wouldn't matter either way because he wasn't really her parent. She was raised by her own mother and several nannies. That this guy never really took any interest in her anyway. So she was just getting on there to set the record straight, saying he knew exactly what she was doing, supported her 100%, and now it's not fitting his current agenda and his Republican ideals. So I guess she's just firing back at him.
Yeah, she's 20 years old now. I just had to look it up because if she was a child, case dismissed for me already. And you have to be 18 to even be right of mind to consider sex change. But I don't know exactly when his son decided to become a daughter. I wasn't privy to this information, so I can't really have much of a comment on the story. But Brittany, what do you think?
I think, it's always he said, she said. And in this case, that's true. He, the father, she, the daughter. And they're going to both say one knew and the other didn't. And however, but I think he's right in the sense of let children be children. Do not give children hormone replacement. Do not give children hormone blockers. Nothing like that. Please keep the children safe. Other than that, once you're over 18, maybe even 21, do what you want. But when you're a kid, I support people not supporting children to transition medically. Now, as far as transitioning socially, that's a completely different construct. But medically, I do not support. And I'm 10 toes down on it. I will say it to anybody.
And also, it's one thing to have support for your family, but also it's like sometimes you don't know what you're getting into. You can sign what you want, but until you go through it with that person, you don't know what you're really getting into. So he could totally be supportive, but also have disbelief afterwards when he's seen what it really takes. Let's talk about the Hurricane Beryl, and the residual effects of it. Brittany, can you inform us of what's going on with that hurricane?
Yeah, girl. So as we know, it was a long, long drought. We had no moisture, or at least in our areas. But then Hurricane Beryl set foot and she was wreaking havoc. She was putting out floods, knocking out all sorts of electrical. And pretty much it's been a residual ever since. So as the weather systems meet, they say that the temperatures are super high and now the moisture is in influx. For the longest, it was dry. Now it's coming back and with a vengeance. And it seems like it's taken over. Everywhere is feeling a bit more moisture. So in certain regards, that's great because our trees and crops are dying. But at another point, once the ground becomes so dry, it makes it hard for it to evaporate or rather absorb all of the moisture. So in turn, there becomes lots of flooding. But I mean, there's always some weather system mess around. That's one thing that never plays. Mother Earth.
It's raining on this side, but it's burning on the other. And the West Coast, it's burning down.
It's scary. It's scary. But I'll tell you what, the waters are warm in Brazil because they're filled with coked up sharks, apparently. Yeah, you hear about that? They were doing some studies on some, I believe they're called needle-nose sharks down off the coast of Brazil. And these fellas are popping up for all sorts of cocaine in the liver, in the muscle tissue. Now, they say the female sharks get it worse. They absorb it much more. I'm uncertain as to why. An ecotoxicologist didn't describe in detail what that meant, but they did say that the females get it worse. So unfortunately, I feel like that's going to have a worse effect because if it's a female, she could probably carry it on to her child if she's pregnant.
Cocaine sharks. I just am baffled why Brazil. Are they just dumping loads as they transfer the narcotics to America?
Well, they say it's increased consumption because they said over the past few years, cocaine consumption has risen drastically. which I was always under the assumption that it was falling, that other stuff was coming into play as these laboratories got more and more built up. They were putting out different stuff. But apparently they say it's not kilos being dumped into the ocean. It is not anyone necessarily transporting it and it gets caught or goes under. It's actually more of the increased consumption of users and the fact that they're literally excreting it and the poor sewage treatment doesn't take it out.
Wow.
Right. Just like microplastics have been found in semen, even of men that have never been invited to join the internet world. We're talking about tribes buried deep within these jungles. They're testing for it. So they're saying anything can get in the water. All sorts of antidepressants, they're in the water. At this point, now cocaine is getting into the water around.
You gave me a great answer because, yeah, it makes more sense now that it's coming out through the sewage treatments from actual people consuming it and not just wasting it by dumping loads into our ocean. But that helps us bridge to the movie industry. There's a toilet movie coming out. What is
Yeah,
this?
girl. Apparently, how do you say it? Skibbity?
Skibbity D. Yeah.
Skibbity-dee. Yeah, they're saying that they're going to try to put out a dang movie over it. They're going to make a movie.
What's the movie?
Exactly. Apparently, it's from the YouTube channel, The Fuck Boom, spelled FAQ, so don't have me up. They're sponsoring it, and they're trying to turn it into a film. What's his name? Michael Bay. Is it Michael Bay? I think it's him.
Oh, God.
He's trying to get on it, doggone it, and make money off of pretty much Gen Z's slang and what they find entertaining. It's scary. It's awkward. I won't be tuning in.
Michael Bay. Yeah. I'm all for supporting an artist branching out. So this is very interesting, especially for him. I guess we'll see what he does with it. I have no clue what Skibby DD is.
Girl, me neither, but I know about the toilet, so it sounds like this movie's going right down with it. But you know exactly. Support the artists. God bless.
So tonight we have the opening ceremony for the Olympics. It's in Paris, France, and looks like they're already running into some difficulties. They're having individual sabotage the rail system, and it looks like cloudy skies for an opening ceremony that's taking place in an open air theater. So rocky start, but I saw that Snoop Dogg was carrying that torch.
Had to be him, girl. If there is something giant on fire and smoking, he needs to be holding it, okay? Holy balls, never a more perfect picture painted.
You said it correct, Britt. I think I also heard that LeBron James might be carrying the torch. So it'll be interesting to see who's actually handing it off and how that actual ceremony will go tonight with all the complications they are currently facing.
Right? We shall see.
New segment, this or that, crew socks or ankle socks? Brittany?
Ooh, girly, you know I got all in my collection. The short ones, the tall ones, the knee-high ones, the thigh-high ones, the like toeless or footless or I don't even know, all sorts of stuff. But I think I'm going to go with ankle just because we used to roll them down to try to get that aesthetic. And then they made them for us. So I can't go back. I can't go back. How about you?
Yeah, we grew up with ankle socks or, doing what we could to achieve that ankle sock. But these new Gen Zers, they're bringing back the crew and I'm not down with it at all. I think especially for us thick-legged girls, the crew doesn't help. So I'm against.
I feel you. I feel like the crew does better in a big shoe, like a boot that you don't want it falling down. But if you're kind of wearing shorts and small sneakers, I feel like, yeah, probably ankle would serve you better. But that's our generation. What can we say? Millennials.
All right. So new segment, because we want to keep this fun, especially because no one wants to hear the news. But at the end, we always like to close out with a cherry on top. So we're going to give some dating advice moving forward. There's a page on Facebook, several of the similar type, where people go to post guys that they're dating or also ask for advice. So I figure, hey, let's help some of these people out because these comments I see are a little ridiculous. So let's start with the first one. Did I overreact? This guy, we've been on 10 dates, left this comment on this other girl's picture on Facebook. I decided to block him right away, and he says I overreacted. Did she overreact?
Yes. She just blocked him out of nowhere. She didn't even talk to him or nothing. I feel like she could have at least gotten the story. I mean, if she knew the story, if it's like ex-girlfriend and he's like, you look so hot or whatever, like, yeah, I think we got it. Like, you can block safely. But like, if he just kind of put something innocuous and you guys never had weird official conversation or anything like that, I feel like it's a little abrupt to block, but that's kind of the newer generation's thing. You know, they're just like block, delete, X.
I mean, overreacted because, yes, you got in your feelings and got impulsive and hit the block button. Like, did you really never want to talk to him again? Because if that's the case, sure. But I know that wasn't the move for that. So yes, you did overreact, honey. No, he shouldn't be commenting on females' pictures, but he has total right to. You aren't exclusive. And again, it matters what did you comment? And you didn't share that part. So I can already tell you overreacted because you would have told us all the facts for us to totally support your decision.
It's true, girl. It's true. She overreacted. And also, mission not completed. You blocked him, yet he still was able to reach back out to you and said you overreacted. It's like, I think that's what you wanted. You wanted a reaction to your reaction, your overreaction. And you got just that. But he's probably like, all right, well, I'm done with this Looney Tune. Back to the sea I go to hunt for more fish.
Yeah, he wasn't hesitating to call out that she actually did block him. So good for dude. Because I would have already known what time it was. Next. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode, and we'll talk to you next time.
That's right. See you then. Take care.